So let me just clarify the jargon. B2B obviously stands for business to business. Most of MSMEs are into B2B, where your customers are businesses. So this is more focused on B2B. Key account management, or CAM, is the approach. So basically, B2B business can be acquired through two ways. One is key account management, and one is through channels, distributors, dealers, and both work. We are going to talk about the key account management process today. Similarly, key account management can either be reactive, in the sense that you receive leads or inquiries and then you react to it, or proactive, where you do account management. In my experience, I have mentored more than 50 MSMEs till now in the last 5-6 years. A significant majority of them are on the reactive mode, and I'm not saying that's good or bad. That's the way it is. The only challenge with that is that you wait for somebody to create an inquiry, and if you don't get inquiries, then you may not get business. But in a proactive mode, you go after a customer. You identify, go after a customer, and then you try to get your business. So today we are going to focus on key account management, the proactive approach, which is going after. Now, basically, what are key accounts? Key accounts are the ones which contribute, the 20% of your accounts, which contribute to 80% of your, profits, top line, whatever. The 80-20 rule. Most, entrepreneurs like you either know it, or, you have kind of understood it, that only a few things matter. And it's the 80-20 rule applies across our life, across professions, across anything. So it's a question of prioritization. Most MSMEs which are in business for 5, 6, 7 years realize that about 20% of their clients give 80% of the business, and the rest are just churning, or they're too small. So the key accounts are the ones where we are trying to identify the largest accounts, which will give us the prioritized account. We are going to give us the highest amount of revenue, profits, whatever. Now, there are ways in which to look at key accounts. One is obviously top line profit, which is the most popular way. But you can also look at it from, growth. There could be some key accounts which are very big currently, but the way the business environment is changing, it is probable that those key accounts business share will go down. Like, I'll give you a very simple example. One of my clients manufactures resistors, and Videocon used to be one of the largest customers when they were making picture tubes for televisions. As technology changed, picture tubes went away, and now I remember plasma came, then LCD came, and now it is LED TVs. And Videocon, we are all aware of what happened to Videocon. So that company was big for my client. But once the technology started changing, they realized that unless Videocon changes, that account is not going to be key any longer. So similarly, when we are talking of key accounts, we must look at accounts which are big today and have a probability of becoming bigger tomorrow for us. Second way of looking at it is that, what is a relationship? Now, is it a pure transactional relationship? It's like you walk into a shop or you walk into a market and you say, "Kitne ka hai?" and he gives it to you. You have no relationship with that seller. You probably don't know his name. You have no idea. You just pay whatever he says, you negotiate or whatever, you buy and you walk away. Those are not key accounts. So the relationship between the buyer and seller has to be two-way, has to be of mutual respect. And one more very important aspect is development of new products or services. That account may not be very big in terms of revenue, but if that account is going to help you create a new product or a service, which you can tomorrow sell to some other account which is much larger, then that account also becomes a key account. This is a slightly difficult concept to understand. I'll try to explain it simply. Let's say that you are trying to develop a new product, and a very small company, which is probably going to remain small, approaches you and they're interested in your product. Now, would you look at it as a key account if you define key accounts as 20% of companies which contribute to 80% of revenue? No, you will not look at it as a key account. But you say, "Hey, I'm trying to create this product. I'm trying to make this product. I need some customer to work with me. I need use case. I need applications. I need testing. I need sampling. I need that process of material selection, design selection, validation, so many user acceptance tests, and so many other things which come in, irrespective of product. It could be an IT product, it could be a manufacturing, it could be plastics, it could be toys, it could be food, it could be anything. But if you're trying to create a new product, you require a customer. The best way to create a product is if you have a customer. So if such a customer comes, you should definitely look at that customer as a key account and manage it in the key account process so that that customer acquired and you are able to get your objective. Now, what does key account do? What is the process of key account management? Basically, it creates a portfolio of loyal key accounts by offering them on a continuing basis a product or service package tailored to their unique needs today and tomorrow. What it means is, if you do the key account management process well, you will have a portfolio of loyal who will remain with you, engaged key accounts. And how will you do that? You'll offer them on a continuing basis products or services which keep on adding value to them as a client today and tomorrow. See, one more problem which probably many MSMEs face is when they are not able to cope up with the growth plans or the future plans of their clients. Client says कि हाँ अभी तक तो आप जो दे रहे हो अच्छा है, but कल हमारा जो प्लानिंग है, नया मार्केट में जाना है, नई प्रोडक्ट निकालनी है, कुछ नया करना है, उसमें you don't appear to be capable to support me, so I'm going to look at somebody else. That is one more problem which I have seen many of my clients face. So if you do key account management process well, that probability becomes low. So you'll have long-term, scalable, sustainable accounts, keep on giving you revenue, keep on giving you growing business, good relationship, ideal. That's what everybody wants. And key account management also ensures that your day-to-day interactions with that client, with that account, becomes smooth, for which you have to create dedicated teams headed by a key account manager. Now, whether you have a 1-person team or a 5-person team depends on the scale of operation. Some companies in MSMEs, 1-person key account management team is adequate. Larger MSMEs, probably you'll have a 2, 3, 4, 5-person key account managers. But it's entirely a function of scale and scope. So 1 person can also be sufficient and 5 can also be sufficient. Point is, it makes your transactional mode very simple, very smooth. What is obviously why should you do key account management? One is it increases revenue. For any business, growth is life. So it increases revenue. Definitely, I can assure you. I've experienced it myself. I've done it for my employers when I was an employee. I've done it for my own business when I was running a IT services company, IT products company, and I'm doing it today when I'm running a consulting firm. It definitely increases revenue, and far more than the market. Market में तो सब grow करते हैं. Market grows, you will grow. I'm talking about growing beyond market. I'm talking about eating into others' market share. I'm talking about that. Better customer service. So you have a much more satisfied and engaged customer. Everybody used to earlier talk of customer satisfaction and employee satisfaction. That's probably no longer valid nowadays. I'll give you a very simple example. Most of us wear sports shoes, we go for walks or whatever. Now, if I were asked, do you like, I have Nikes as well as Reeboks. If somebody says, Anirudh, are you satisfied with Nike? Yes, I'm very satisfied. Excellent shoes. Absolutely. Are you satisfied with Reebok? Yes, I'm satisfied with Reebok. So what does it mean? I'm not loyal to Nike or Reebok. I'm satisfied but not loyal. If I get a good deal on Amazon, I'll buy Nike. If I get a better deal somewhere, I'll buy a Reebok. I'm satisfied, equally satisfied with both. So when you do a key account management, it is not just, I'll change the slide also. It's not just customer satisfaction or better service. I'm talking about engagement, where the client remains with you, is not just loyal, but remains with you and keeps on, giving you business. Cross and upsell. This is a jargon again. A few of you would know it, just for the benefit of everybody. So cross and upsell. So cross sell is basically when, if you have, let's say, 3 products or 3 offerings in your portfolio, if you're selling one to a customer, process of trying to sell the second or the third to the same customer, it's called cross sell. So very simply put, let's say if you are making pens, pencils and rubbers, and if you're only selling pens to a company, if you through key account management, you will be probably able to sell pencils and rubbers. And upsell is if you're selling X amount or X rupees today, how can you grow it? So you basically the wallet share of the organization. If you are today supplying 20% of his requirement, how do you make it 25? How do you make it 30? How do you make it 50? And obviously close deals faster, because when you're talking about B2B sales, it takes time. There are long gestation period, big projects. But if you do the key account management process, the probability of closing sales faster is much higher. Now, what are the best practices? Before I get into it, I thought I'll share some best practices with you. How do people do key accounts? There are many things. This is like a checklist. So one is, target efforts to potential is a good practice. Simple logic. Where you see big potential, put more effort. Don't make a flat effort. Don't say that, I'll give the same focus, same this to everybody. It's one more thing which is entrepreneurs from engineering or manufacturing will relate when I say, if you maintain the same quality standards for all your clients and which are of the highest degree, you're probably over engineering for many clients. If you say tolerance should be some, ppm, or it should be within x% or y microns or whatever is your uh, criteria for tolerance or quality, it could be right for one customer, but it probably could be over engineering for many others. So similarly with efforts in key account management, the ones who are able to allocate effort based on potential do it well. Redeploy resources with best potential. Similar logic. Set objectives. So in any key account management process, always set your goals. Don't just go ki chala आपल्याला करायचं आहे, हमें करना है, हमें देखना है. No, I need to be very clear as to what am I expecting in what period. What are my objectives out of this key account management process? Whether it is activities, whether it is outcomes, I must set myself objectives. In next 3 months, I should be able to achieve this. In next 6 months, I should be able, and then monitor it. Plan a strategy. Once you say that there's a goal which you need to, I do a separate full-fledged session on strategy. So I'll not go much into detail here, but whatever you say as an objective, goal, target, whatever you want to call it, create a strategy around it. How am I? And strategy is high level. It's very simple. Like a very simple example is, if my goal is to become fitter, and I call fitter as losing weight or having better BP, lower sugar, or whatever you want to say it, then my strategy is to do exercise or diet or meditation or yoga. That is my strategy. Then we are talking about planned actions. When I say, let's say diet, what will I eat? How often will I eat? How will I eat? What will I not eat? Those are actions. And review. Keep on reviewing. And the team PLI. Now, PLI is something which everybody understands is performance linked income. One of the key factors of CAM success is if you can make the salesperson, the key account managers, not the key account management, the key account manager, the person doing the key account management, if you can link some part of his compensation, whether it's 10%, 20%, 30%, up to 30, to outcomes or results or activities, the performance of the manager is much better. And obviously, it is a penalty and reward mechanism. If a person doesn't do well, he's penalized. If he does better than target, he's given more than his salary. And I have in my life earned up to 200% of my PLI for multiple quarters. I have worked in scenarios where I was getting 70% fixed. If I was getting paid 100 rupees, 70 rupees was being paid to me as salary and 30 was being paid against outcomes, qualitative and quantitative. And I have earned 60 up to 60 rupees for quarters altogether if I did a good job. Because by paying me that 30 extra, the company was probably earning 300 more. It worked both ways. It's good for win-win for company and the individual. Now, when you do an effective key account management, what do you become? You become a preferred partner. Now, what is the advantage of preferred partner? You get a key supplier status. So, from a client's point of view, you become a very important partner. You get a key supplier. You're the ones from which the customer is going to buy a maximum amount of stuff. It is based on trust. The client shares sensitive information which is useful for us for product development, for future planning. Access to stakeholders. See, many a times I notice this with my MSME clients is that they are only talking to purchase people, or they don't really know the general manager or the MD or so many times. I'm not saying it's true for all. I'm just making a statement about many. Even though you may have been dealing with a account for many years, but your team doesn't really know the senior most people, and because of that, at times suddenly out of the blue you start losing business because somebody higher up has taken some decision not knowing about you, or you're not aware that there's such a thing is happening. If you do the key account management process well, you get access to stakeholders, continuous improvement. Because when you're dealing with clients, large clients, They start sharing their quality practices with you. Opportunities for long-term business. Like I said, you will keep on getting business in the long term, and value improvement through integrated business practices. So what it means is that the customer will start involving you in their business processes, whether it is about connecting your ERP and the customer's ERP, or sharing opportunities for you to be, trained, coached, or sharing, good practices, whether it be 5 years, whether it be Pokayo. It has happened. I have seen many MSMEs, once they do a proper key account management, the clients then say, okay, let me invest into this supplier and bring up the level of that. So value improvement happens. Is the What are the parameters, or what are the how does a key account manager look a person? So that person needs to have a strategic outlook. Strategy manje nothing like what I'm saying. If you have a plan, if you have an objective to achieve something, and you know what is a way to achieve it, that is called strategy. It may seem very simple, but a lot of people don't have strategic thinking. They say, I don't know what to do. I just have been told that there's a goal or a plan, or I have decided. I really don't know how to go about it. And that's why people like us as consultants, we get called. It may sound very simple, but the fact is, the most of my clients call me saying, Anuruddha, this is what we want to do, but we don't know how to do it. Forget the granular planning. We just don't even know the approach, how to go about it. It's as simple as, I've decided to lose weight, but I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to diet or whether to exercise, whether to do more yoga, whether to do meditation, whether to buy new shoes. I don't know what to do. So, strategy. Operations and transactions. That person's obviously needs to be operational and transaction, because key account management is not just about strategy, but about operations. Account quality assurance. So the focus always must be ensuring the quality being delivered to their account, the assurance of quality, and forward looking. Key account managers never look back, they always look forward. Where am I? Where do I want to go? Where am I? Where do I want to go? As long as all these basic four qualities are there, the probability of a key account management process is good. What is the role of a CAM? He or she needs to be observant. Very important. A lot of times I have gained so much of inputs which has helped me do my business, or my bosses or my company's business better, is just by observing. Keep your ears and eyes open. So I tell all the key account managers, be observant, able to recognize patterns. It's one thing to notice something or not notice. Other thing is to notice it in a way that you say there is a pattern of things happening. Because most organizations, which are your clients, don't suddenly one morning get up and say, let's do something. There is a build up. There are meetings happening, there are thoughts happening, there's a pattern. And the key account manager develops the ability to read patterns, whether it is about acquiring new business or whether it is the fear of losing it. It also happens that you are not doing something right, and there are some things happening which you if you don't understand patterns, suddenly one fine day you're called and said, hey, stop doing business with us, and then you're shocked. Guys, hello, what happened? If you're able to understand patterns, it doesn't happen. Ability to lead cross-functional teams. Key account managers are the single point of contact for the client. They must have the ability to lead cross-functional teams, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is sales operations, whether it is material, whether it is quality, whether it is dispatch, whether it is accounts and collections, whatever it may be, because that person is fronting the your organization in front of the. See, this is one very strong point. I have again noticed this with many MSMEs. The people just pass the buck. Somebody calls with a problem, boss, sorry, मैं sales का आदमी हूँ, आप ये manufacturing का issue आप इससे बात कर लो. और some manufacturing का ये बॉस मेरे को नहीं पता चलता है, आप उससे बात कर लो. And client gets upset, कि क्या चल रहा है यार, I don't know what to do, I'm having a problem. The key account manager will be the one who will say, boss, talk to me. I will ensure that whatever behind me, I will talk to whoever in the company. You talk to me, and I will ensure that your concerns, your requirements, your opportunities are met. Able to work with ambiguity. That's one more thing, because as part of key account management, not everything is clear. That's true for most other job. That's true for most successful people in today's world. Is that you must have an ability to work with ambiguity. You really don't know what's happening. There's a fog, and you can only see 50 meters, and then you wonder, what's beyond that, but you're okay with it. Creative in developing structured solutions for clients from often vague. So the key account managers are the one who have, they try to collect as much information as possible, but It doesn't happen all the time. Clients may not be forthcoming. They may not have that information. But having collected adequate information, the ability to create and develop a structured solution which is of relevance and value to the client is a role of a CAM. Looks tough. It is tough. That's why the the science and art of key account management works. It's tough, but if you are able to understand it and you are able to implement it, takes time. Doesn't happen overnight. It's a culture. It's a growth mindset. It's a behavioral thing. But yes, does it work? 100% it works. And I have seen so many MSMEs, smallest one, 2 crore turnover companies to 25, 30, 40, 50, 100 crores implemented and get success. Now, how do you identify the accounts? So, key account management is all about proactive. I am going to decide who are going to be my customers. I am going to, if based on what I know about my product, based on what I know about the market, based I know upon what I know as a customer, their applications, their requirements, I am going to sit and say, hey, let me identify 20, 30, 50 accounts. When I say accounts, I mean client names, ABB, Wipro, Reliance, whatever it is. I'm going to identify them and I'm going to go after them to get the business from them. Obviously, you need to have a process of, so whether it is by vertical segments, you may say for me, pharma is important, shipping is important, FMCG is important based on your offering. You got to select applications relevant to us. So within that, let's say that what is the application? Elevators, switch gears, these are, or any other thing which is application. Geographies. You got to decide what's your scope. Do you want to be domestic? You want to be limited to city, to state, region, or country, or exports? Again, whether you want to play in certain regions, whether it is MENA, whether it is SARC, whatever it is, or North America. You got to take that call and based on that potential. When you let's say you say that all pharma companies are my customers, any pharma company can buy what I want to sell or need to buy what I sell. Now, there will be probably hundreds or thousands of pharma companies. Are you going to go after all of them? No. You have to take a call. Which is the sweet spot for me? Which type of company will buy from me today and aspirationally tomorrow? So you need to look at companies which will probably are a little too big for you today, but tomorrow they'll be the right size for you because this whole process is going to take time. It's not something which you implement today and next month you're going to get benefits. It will take time. So you as an organization is also growing. You're doing product development, you're doing people development, you're investing in infra, you're creating capabilities, you're going to new markets. So when you do key account management, plan for tomorrow also along with today. And then decide that in that segment, let me see the top 10. The ones which have referenceability. That if I acquire this company, many other companies of the same size will say, Arey, I need to look at this company. Due diligence is done. So look at them that way. And strategic importance. Like I said, not everything is related to money. You may say that, there's a multinational client. That client may not give me too much of revenue. But the very fact that I am dealing with a multinational client makes it very simple for me to go to other multinationals or smaller Indian companies and say, hey, if Ford Motor Company has approved my product, you better, there's no doubt about my product. Now let's just talk about deliveries and, other things. Government and PSU similarly. Many, firms believe that getting government clients or referenceability or target offering from your product point of view. So based on all of this, you do the account identification. Once, you shortlist a list of 50 to 200. Now, 50 to 200 is just an arbit number. That is something which is based on, when I go deep dive, we understand. Now you decide the revenue targets. Okay, how much should I expect or target from this company over what time? First year, this is the kind of revenue I should target. Second year, this is the kind of revenue. Team sizing. For getting that revenue, what kind of people do I need? How many do I need and what skill set do I need? What experience set do I need? Doability. See, this is something which I say that many a times now I've been told that I'm a very aggressive sales guy and I like challenges and I've broken into accounts and fine. But I also know there are some accounts which I could not break into. I could not do it because like me, there are others also there. Like you, there are others also there in the market. So whether you're doing business just to prove you're better than somebody, or you're doing business because you want to do business, so take a call. There are some accounts which are unpenetrable because the competitor is giving so much of a good service there that there's no way that customer is going to look at you. The effort of trying to break into that client is not worth it. You're not going to get that. Keep them away, because that will lead to a too much effort, time, cost, money, and demotivation. अरे यार हमने कोशिश की मिला नहीं, we are not good at it. So also when you do account selection, keep away from those accounts which may seem plumb, but they are so difficult to crack into that you will lose it. Maybe they are being serviced by a bigger client with better capabilities than you. Why should you change? And balancing with other strategic initiatives. When you do account selection, you may not just selling is not just one thing. Product development, quality, costing, everything is there. So balance it with your other requirements and see which are the accounts which come out, and then work on that list of accounts. Next is mapping. Mapping is nothing but finding out information about your clients which will be of use to you in order to acquire business, in order to maintain business, in order to grow business. So you need information. Now, what are the simple hygiene information that anybody requires when they say they are doing key account management? Hygiene is, where are the offices, where are the factory, where are the premises, where is the location, what is the website, phone, email, which business segment do they fall under, what is the application, what are the group companies and sister concerns. Now, it may sound very simple, but ask yourselves, how many of you know all of this about your clients? And I'll not be wrong if I say many of you will say, boss, I don't. There's many. And actually, there's a lot of potential which is locked because you don't know these basic things. Simple things like group companies and sister concerns. I have used this in my career, and I have been able to help my clients in doing business multifold by just working on this one line: group company and sister concerns. When you are dealing with one company, there are a lot of other group companies they may have. It's very easy to go to them. Sister concerns, multinationals. I am selling to, let's say, a multinational in Croatia. They have another unit in Zagreb, or they have in Serbia, or they have in Mexico, wherever. It becomes relatively easy because most of these global companies have global supplier vendor codes. They may have SAP, they may have some ERP. Once you get a vendor code, the ability to sell to another region becomes much easier. And that's something which sounds very simple, but many people don't do it. Now, specific. So mapping is one, is information which is hygiene, like I said. Where is the factory, website, email? Now, this is specific to your business. So based on whatever business you are doing, now there are some, I don't know how many people are participating. I see, oh wow, 21 participants. Probably around 10 or 12 SMEs are there. And I'm sure many of them, all of them have different businesses. So this mapping is specific to your business. What is the business potential for you? Whatever is it that you are selling, and what is the business potential? Potential means how much can you probably, what is the pond size in which you are trying to swim? It is not how much you are eating. It is the pond size. So potential is those, let's say I'll give a very simple example. I sell pencils, and this client buys 2 crores worth of pencils every year from multiple suppliers. The potential is 2 crores. The largest supplier may be selling 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs. That is not potential. That is market share. Potential is 2 crores. You should say theoretically, I can go after 2 crores. I can theoretically get 2 crores of business from this company today, 3 crores tomorrow, and 4 crores day after. So you should map out the business potential. Based on that, you can then see what is your share, what is the competitor, largest competitor, the competitor with having the most vulnerable to take over, and all those kind of things. That's a different matter. Today's session is, it's at a very high level. So I'm giving you the concept of introducing it to you. Next is suppliers and vendors. Applications. For your offerings, what are the applications which are relevant? So if you may have within the same client, you could have different applications. If you are going to elevators manufacturer, elevator could be in this, drive system could be a second application, braking system could be a third application. Same client, but there are 3 different applications. and three different probably teams who are purchasing or taking decisions. So you need to know the applications. Suppliers and vendors. Who are they currently buying it from? Because those people have already got into the system. So they are a good business model to see as a learning. What have they done right that they have got into the system? Can I understand that? Current and future plans. Again, key account management is all about today and tomorrow. It is never about just today or only tomorrow. You should map out what does your client intend to do? What are they doing today? And what do they intend to do tomorrow? What do they intend to stop doing tomorrow? What do they intend to start doing newly tomorrow? That is going to help you create a willing offering, a ROI, a value added offering, and current problems and bottlenecks or opportunities. The third one is opportunities. Map out where is the pain point of your customers today? Where are they facing problems? If it is with delivery, if it is with quality, if it is with pricing, if it is with payment terms, is it with functionality, that I am buying something but it's not really I am doing what it's supposed to do, but I have no option today. Find out, map it, because those will give you the entry point for getting into the customer. Now the most important logic or base on which key account management works is stakeholders. When I say stakeholders, I mean contacts within the client, people. This is the most, if I were to ask, if somebody asked me, Anirudh, the key account ka sabse important parameter kya hai? I will say stakeholder, people, because we are human beings and we deal with human beings. The day has not yet come where my company has got an AI where my without people is dealing with the clients, non-people. We still are human beings. We deal with each other. So the stakeholders. Organogram. What I mean by organogram is map out the client's people. Who is in what position in which department. The ideal is if you can map out the whole organogram, but that's too much in large accounts. You must know the relevant people for you. So whether it is purchase, whether it is quality, whether it is R&D, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is HR, whether it is finance, whatever may be, and across levels, entry, middle, senior, leadership, whichever is relevant to you, you must map out. When I say map out, first level is no. Okay, this company mein the general manager is Mr. So and so. I don't know him today. I've never met him. I don't have his mobile number. I don't have his email. I have nothing. But I know that Mr. So and so is there, and it's easily possible. LinkedIn is there, Google is there, contacts are there, references are there. It's very easy if you set about do it. Finding out and reaching any person in this world. Any person in this world. There's a theory, of course, of 5-step. Many of that you can reach any person in the world, including the president of United States of America, in 5 or 7 steps. You know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows the president. Theoretically possible. So, organogram. Names, positions, and roles. There is a difference between a position and a role. Position is a designation. He is assistant general manager purchase. He is senior manager manufacturing. He is junior executive accounts. These are positions. Roles is what they are doing. So you could have a assistant general manager purchase whose role is the final decision on purchasing. His role is the buyer. Or you could have somebody calling himself senior VP purchase, but he is not the buyer. Because his position, it may sign, oh, bahut bada aadmi hai, senior VP. But there could be an ED purchase sitting above him. The role is important. So you must know the name, you must know the position, and you must know the role. Why is position needed? Because in official communication, people feel hurt if they're not addressed properly. If somebody is a vice president and you say assistant vice president, his ego gets hurt, and you're not likely to get business from that person. So you must know that person. This is when you take your boss, when you meet somebody, meet Mr. So and so, the vice president of so and so. He'll feel very happy. Ah, he's remembered my designation. And then you say by the way, he's the buyer. He's the one who owns the function of buying. He'll get further happy. Arey why isko ye bhi malum hai what I do. Not just my name, not just my designation, but my position, my role also. And knowing the role is obviously needed for you to map out your process. Of course, things like contact information, location, email, mobile, where does he sit? Last one, traits and influences. This is where the quality now comes. This is the ones where the the 5% of the successful camps are the difference. They know the person, they know the human being. See, this is something which I have also used in my career. I have become friends with so many of my customers, genuine friends, even after 20 years now. Even if today I have nothing to do with them or they have nothing to do with me, we remain friends. But at that time, I mapped them out. I did किसको पिक्चर अच्छा लगता है, किसको स्पोर्ट्स अच्छा लगता है, किसको पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में अच्छा लगना है, who likes to eat out, who's doing what. Get to know them as human beings, and then if you engage with them, you start out by, when my standard style used to be, when I meet a customer, I start out by talking about, by the way sir, वो अवतार पिक्चर है देखा आपने? If somebody likes movies, next 10 minutes we'll be talking of अवतार, यार ये देखा वो देखा ऐसा वैसा है और कल का मैच देखा सर, क्या ये अक्षर पटेल ने कितना अच्छा खेला, तभी भी लॉस सर, क्या क्या बढ़िया खेला, whatever. Become friends. First 5-10 minutes, he becomes comfortable. ये अपना दोस्त है. Then get into the topic. Always ask about the person first. Standard style is, sir, I am coming from ABC. हमारे पास ये प्रोडक्ट है, आपके पास कोई रिक्वायरमेंट है क्या? Sorry, FO, कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं. Get into this. So knowing the traits and influences. This is easy to say, but it's difficult. But I have seen some very super duper successful key account managers do it, and they do it so well that आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि आपके पैरों की जमीन कब खींच गई. You think you have quoted, सब बढ़िया है और हमारा बढ़िया प्राइस दिया है, ऑर्डर क्यों नहीं आया? Somebody has come above you and taken the order away just by being friends with the right people. Works. I'm not talking bribing. I'm not talking giving money under the table. I'm talking about getting comfortable. Let the client get the confidence कि कुछ होगा तो ये मेरे, he'll stand with me. He's doing it for my benefit. He's not just trying to sell. Get that. And you have to actually live it also. It's not just giving the confidence. You have to actually do that also. That's another part. Mapping of competition. Very important when you're doing key account management. You need to know what are their applications and products. You need to know their wallet share and trends. What I mean by wallet share, everybody knows कि वो कस्टमर 100 रुपए की चीज खरीदता है, मुझसे 15 रुपए का खरीदता है, इससे 30 रुपए का खरीदता है या 40 or whatever. You need to know that. And trends. How is it that wallet share, is it growing, stable, or coming down? That tells you how strong that competitor is. SWOT. You do obviously a strength, weakness, opportunity, threat analysis of every competitor is there. Engagement model. This is very important. How does the competitor engage with the client? What I mean by engage is interact. How often? How? What is the methodology? Who are they meeting? This, I'm telling you, one of the things which I did early when I was a frontline salesman in, I was selling cars in Muscat. I was selling Ford cars in Muscat. One of the things I did was, there was a super successful guy selling General Motor vehicles, my competitor. All I did, I used to follow him. वो जहां गया मैं वहां जाता था. He caught on, of course, after a couple of months. He said, "साले तू मेरे पास क्यों आ रहा है?" And then but whatever. For a couple of months, I followed him, and I got a lot of sales. All I did was follow him. वो जहां जा रहा था, तू जहां चलेगा, मेरा साया तेरे साथ होगा. That's all. Very simple. So engagement model. It's not that simple, just following physically, but how are they interacting? So if you know that a certain competitor has met somebody, when you meet him, just ask him, sir, I don't want to know any secrets. मुझे कोई उनका ऑफर के बारे में, I just want to know कि what does he talk about when he meets you? Many clients will share with you. He talks about new things. He talks about subject matter expertise. He talks about trends. He talks about foreign में क्या चल रहा है, about whatever it is, and I find it very relevant. And you say, अरे यार, why can't I do that? I also have info. Or if I don't know it, I will prepare myself for it. Engagement model. You may be meeting somebody. You may be meeting a senior person and feel कि हाँ अभी ये धंधा अपना आ गया. You may see this guy meeting some junior guy or secretary. क्या time waste कर रहा है? I am already meeting the big boss. But you don't know that secretary is giving so many inputs. मीटिंग में ये हुआ, कर परसों ये बजट अप्रूवल हुआ है, पैसा हो गया, वैसा हो गया, and you may suddenly be shocked. यार, how did I lose the business in spite of knowing the boss? Because eventually the boss is going to work with his team. You're an outsider. So if juniors come, you also know in your own companies. So many times, many of your founders doesn't mean you go into your company with a whip and say whatever you do होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं होता है. You work with your teams. So many times your teams come to you and say, boss, ऐसा करना है. Okay, चलो करते हैं. You listen to them. Even though somebody outside may say, नहीं ये गलत है, you listen to your team. Similarly, competitors. So follow them, engagement model. And stakeholders in competitors. उनके कौन लोग आते हैं? Who all are the people who are trying to sell into your account? That will give you an idea, because that's one more thing. You say कि मैं शिवाजी हूं, मैं अकेला कुछ करूंगा. No, you have a full sena behind you. You are your boss, your junior, your side. Use them. So their stakeholders, see how the competition is doing it. And in competition also, there is a product competition and there's a dollar competition. The mapping process, how do you do it? So there is a lead and inquiry generation process. There is an these are the various processes you need to map in a client. You need to know how do they generate an inquiry. Who does it? How do they do it? Approval कहाँ से आता है? Meeting होता है या mail चलती है या somebody, how does it happen? How does the evaluation and decision making work? You may like to believe, कि नहीं वो एक आदमी decide with. No, most professional organizations have a process. Even you have processes in your own companies. Evaluate when a bid comes. How do you evaluate it? You should know who are the stakeholders. What do they evaluate? L1 है, L2 है, T1 है, LCTC है, क्या मॉडल है? How do they evaluate and take a decision? Buying and purchase का प्रोसेस क्या है? एक बार कमिटी ने डिसाइड कर दिया, how does it come to the purchase department? Because at any point of time you can catch it and reverse it. I'll not go into detail, but I have seen people, I have done it myself, and I've seen other sales people reversing purchase orders. The purchase order place हो गया competitor पे, but because of this process and knowing it, we have been able to reverse it. Cancel करके हमारे ऊपर purchase order लेके आया. So at any point of time it is possible, as long as you know the process and the people. Payment कैसा होता है? Because as part of any key account management, you must get your money. And innovations. This is very important. You must know, tag the process of the client. How do they do innovate? Because that is where opportunity for product development and future comes. Whether it is R&D, whether it is, they call it innovation department, new product development, whatever they may call it, but innovation is happening. First is the approach. How do you approach the client? Once you have mapped out the company, mapped out the stakeholders, done some bit of study, and it's it's an ongoing process. It's never that you say 100% मेरा सब हो जाएगा तब मैं जाके जाऊँ. No, you start off. And one of the way is to get information is to try to meet the client. उसमें से आपको उनका processes का information मिलता है, competitor का information मिलता है, pain points का information मिलता है, and so on and so forth. So you can approach through cold calls, but the best approach I have seen is through references. And today in the world of LinkedIn, it is very easy. You see, most of the clients are there on LinkedIn. 70, 80, 90% of people are on LinkedIn today. It is very easy to map somebody. If you're trying to, let's say somebody is trying to get in touch with me, Anirudh, you just look at my profile. LinkedIn will tell you who all is common connected between us. If you click on my profile, LinkedIn will say you have 5 common connections. Kedar, Kulkarni is a common connection. Talk to Kedar. Kedar, I want to be connected to Aniruddha. Kedar may say, "Kya karna hai? Batao mujhko. I will talk to him accordingly." Whatever. But you have a methodology of getting connected to Aniruddha. And then when Kedar talks to me, who knows me? Aniruddha, there's this customer or this friend or a stakeholder, whatever, wants to meet you, talk to you, be connected. I'm more likely to say, "हाँ, ठीक है, करते हैं. Let's see." I'll not say, "नहीं नहीं, छोड़ दो." I'm not. Most people are not so rude. It's not a blank call. It's not a cold call. Kedar, who I trust and know, has come to me. So I'm likely to give him, that benefit. So referrals is best, or through emails or through proper methodologies. The last is of course the cold call, which you have to do in any case. The key account manager has to do. I have done it in my life. Even now, if required, I'll do it. Cold calling is required at times. If you want to go after something and everything else fails, you got to do cold call. But that should be the last. Stakeholder CCP. What does stakeholder CCP mean? It means customer contact program. Set out all the stakeholders that you want to meet in the client place and decide whom do you want to meet with what frequency. This person I should meet every week. This person I should meet every month. This person I should do. And that should be not just you. It is also people within your department. So you may say, I will meet this client once every month. Talk, meet, whatever. I will get my boss to interact with him every quarter. Because your boss is going to add value. So it is a multi-level at both levels. At client side also there are multiple people you are trying to map, and at your own, and there's a matrix. That is the customer contact program. And if you do it, if you do 70-75% adherence also, if let's say you have decided to meet somebody 12 times or monthly, which should be 12 times a year, even if you do it 8 to 9 times, I'll tell you, you are likely to get business. Very, very high likelihood of getting good business. The CCP is another very strong tool. Potential mapping, current and future. Offering portfolio showcasing. Now, this is where you get into the point where you say, now I have met the people, I have got the problem. Now I will create a showcase. I will now do open-ended questioning and I will showcase, present what is it that I feel is a relevant. We have discussed about your problems or opportunities. I know the right people. I know your processes. Now I say, boss, this is something which I thought you'll be interested in. Showcase it. Then, of course, for most manufacturing or technical is POC and sampling, which is very important. Now, when you do POC and sampling, one more problem which I've seen many people facing is sample दे दिया, वो fail हो गया. Why? Because they had test parameters which you never asked. कि क्या करने वाले boss? Sample मांग लिया, बना के दे दिया. What are you going to test it against? I have never given a sample in my life to anybody unless they tell me, boss, these are the test criteria on which I am good. Because I say, boss, the point is not to fail. Point is to make, I will make a product which will pass. So that you are talking to me because you're interested in buying from me, right? It's not some, educational or, some just debate. So tell me the criteria. Tell me the passing norms. I will test it before I mail the sample to you. And I'll ensure 100% that if my sample goes to you, it will pass. Otherwise, I'm not, either I'll say, nahi boss, mere se nahi hota hai. And if you're not willing to share, I say, sorry boss, I will not give you sample. Because then I don't know. You're just going to take it and throw it somewhere. Or I have made it for some hardness, you have tested it for some other hardness and say fail ho gaya. Tell me yaar, kya hardness ke liye aapko chahiye? Main bana ke dunga aapko. It sounds very simple. But many people don't do it. 80% of people who give samples don't do it. They don't ask the customer, यार कितना potential है? नहीं sample मांगा है बड़े customer ने, अरे कितना potential है? Is it interesting to you? नहीं boss, मेरे को नहीं interested. I'm telling you, clients will respect you. If you say, if it's genuinely true, of course, कि नहीं boss, this quantity I'm not interested. I'm doing far bigger. I'm not interested. Well, क्या बात है? I've seen it happen. It's a call to be taken. Then, of course, the hygiene factors like vendor registration, empanelment for your client or client's client. Like if say you're dealing with an OE of Bajaj, then you may need to do the registration for both OE as well as Bajaj. There are many such criteria. Inquiry and lead generation, specific project with qualification and timing, factory visit, follow up, techno-commercial proposal. This is where. Now again, here I always suggest first agree on the scope, the technical scope. Don't get into commercials. I know customers say, नहीं आप भेजो proposal मेरे को देखता हूँ मैं कितना है क्या है. First, let us agree on what am I supposed to deliver to you. Let's agree on that, then I will quote. Because many a times what happens is you have assumed something based on which you make a commercial quote and you send it. And they say बहुत महंगा छोड़ दो. And then they after losing you go and you find out competition से जो लिया है वो बहुत it's something much lower than you. Boss आपने तो I had factor. Ask. First talk commercial or first talk technical. Let's agree ये चाहिए, then I will share my proposal. It's a tough call to take. Many times you may feel अरे नहीं customer भाग जाएगा, नहीं जाता. If you are interested and he is interested, नहीं भाग के जाएगा. Negotiation is the next stage, of course. Negotiation itself, there is a full workshop I do on negotiation. Negotiation is not just कितना दिया और कितने में देगा. It's a lot more than that. Closure and PO. Delivery and implementation. Again, sign off from client. This is one more thing which as part of CAM, many a times we don't take a sign off. It remains open. And then at some point of time, client comes up and says, ये तो आधा है. I have delivered all that you wanted. Please, I need a sign off. And collection. For any part of key account manager, collection is very important. So the CAM stages, relationship management or CRM, which is the most important thing, which happens along the CAM or after the CAM also. Once you have acquired the business also, relationship management. It has to be periodic. It has to be multi-level and multi-level. What I mean at the client side also, at our side also. And how do you do it? You can have newsletters. You can have a regular governance model. What I mean by regular governance is that let's say I am a CAM and I am dealing with you as an organization. There needs to be somebody very senior. Let's say my founder or my MD or my whatever it is, who comes in and sits with the client and says, boss, I want to understand from you whether the project is being delivered the way we had agreed to both together. This is very important. And that gives the confidence to the client that, we are not just looking to, get business and run away. Where the boss comes in and says, I want to objectively do it, and wherever we feel that we have failed, we will correct it. It may sound like a effort where you're spending money, but that small amount today is going to give you a huge amount of satisfaction and business in the going ahead. So regular governance model doesn't happen. Most companies I see, they doesn't happen. Invitations to events, again a very strong thing which people don't do it. You are either attending an event or you're doing an event, take along your customers with you. I'm not talking about some music show. I'm talking about relevant professional events, whether it is exhibitions, whether it's talks, whether it's seminars. Take along your customers. You will see, you will get a far better relationship with them. Personal greetings, of course. You, like I said, know them as a person. Greet them on birthdays, anniversaries, whatever. Become close. Dinners. I have been very successful by meeting my clients for dinner, and I'm again not talking bribes. I'm talking relationships where they feel comfortable, they relax, have a drink with you, and then they are able to open up without the fear of being misused or misquoted. This is not for misusing. It is for basically understanding the requirement better, so that you are able to create a offering which is better suited for the client. And then, of course, part of CAM is upsell and cross sell. When you have sold, you have a great relationship. Now look at saying, hey, I have sold product A. Can I sell product B? Can I sell product C? And I'm selling X. Can I sell X plus 10, X plus 20? Repeat this whole process. Repeat. One way, I don't know whether we have time, Kedar, you need to tell me. But one of the ways in which to do key account management successfully or easily is to do it through CRM softwares like SFDC, Zoho. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware of these softwares, but all of them have free and very, very cheap models for MSMEs. Zoho has a very, very attractive model where for free you can get 2 or 3 users, and 80% of your key account management process can be automated. Takes time. It's not easy to learn it, but can be done. I have done it for so many of my clients, where for no cost we have implemented a CRM solution for minuscule cost. And what are the advantages? Automated reports, data, information remains with the company. See, the one more problem. बंदा भाग गया, सब इंफॉर्मेशन गया, बस उसके पास उसके एक्सेल में सब कंपनी डिटेल्स, कॉन्टैक्ट सब चला गया, इंटरेक्शन सब चला गया. With a CRM, it remains with you. The ownership remains with you. Real-time access. You know what's happening. You log in as a super admin and you know exactly क्या status हो रहा है. And it is a structured way of doing work. It is not subject to my style, your style. It is the company style. Like with any other process, unless you monitor it, unless you do periodic reviews and MIS, that is reports, nothing is going to work. So whether it is about outcomes, whether it is about activities, whether it is about the account management, the CAM process, the CCP, milestones mapping, whether it is about funnel, whether it is about booking, billing, collections, account reports, you must have a structure. And this is again a separate topic of workshop, how to do periodic MIS. What is the benefit seen by client? They see top line ramp up for them. Clients, if you're doing key account manager, they will say, boss, आपकी वजह से मेरा धंधा अच्छा हो रहा है. Profitability ramp up also for them, and significant easing of operational load for both sides. This is for both sides, you as well as your client. Makes life simpler, much more business, much more profit, win-win. Thank you. It is a huge topic. This whole thing would have taken probably 6 to 8 workshops of 1 hour each, but I have tried to summarize and present to you. I hope you see value in it. Do reach out if you want me to help you. Do reach out to anyone else if you feel is capable, but do work on it. I'm not trying to sell myself. Reach out to whoever you feel can help you, but do work. You will get results. You will get business will grow in a very, very nice way. Thank you.
Thank you, Aniruddha. Thank you for wonderful session. I will ask participant if they have any questions. Please feel free to ask to Aniruddha.
Sure.
We have another 5-10 minutes for Q&A.
Sure.
Please go ahead.
I have a question. My name is Bharat Modi. We are basically into paperboards. So we are in the process of now, we want to begin the process of setting up, the key account managers. And the question is, do they have to be from our industry, or can we induct freshers from college and, train them?
Very good question. And answer is yes and no to both. So the advantage of getting people from your industry is that training, subject matter expertise, customer behaviors are known. The disadvantage is that they come with a certain thought process on how to sell. They operate in a relatively rigid mode, and your probability of changing them to your mode is low. The advantage with freshers is that they are freshers. You can mold them into the way. So if you are, let me answer it simply. If you are looking at long-term vision, uh, better to invest in freshers because they may, and in any case, key account management is a long-term process. Or have a mix of freshers and this. Create a team of 2-3 people, one qualified who will kind of act as a trainer, mentor to them, couple of them as freshers. But I have seen both work. So if you don't get fresher, if you don't get qualified, don't feel you've lost. If you get only freshers, don't feel you've won. It's how well you implement the key account management process, and how well do you say, where am I starting with? Am I starting with a trained person or experienced person? Am I starting with fresher? Because the process of doing the key account management changes with both. Both will give you success. So go after whichever one is available to you, but start working.
Okay. And how does the key account the AM process change for export customers? Because therein, you're not really able to meet them so often, establish such a relationship.
Very
So
good
what would
question.
change?
Very good question, and it changes in quite a significant way because there is a then probably third party gets in. Either it's an agent or a distributor or a representative or somebody who gets in whom you have to loop in into your process. Again, there the stress on virtual communication is much more, whether it is emails, whether it is WhatsApp or Zoom, and also added exhibitions where you go and you try to bring your customers. So it changes, but it follows the core same logic, but it changes, and that's where the charm is. That's where you use that key account management process to acquire. Yes, I've seen it. I have done it for myself. I had export client, and I've seen my clients doing it. I've been working with them, and wonderful results, particularly with export clients, because sadly they are more professional than us. More, I would not say, I'm not making a remark like Indians are not professional, but on an average, the export customers are more. They understand your key account process and they relate to it than many Indian customers. So it works beautifully with export customers.
Okay. Do you have any sessions or something where you talk about this process more in depth?
Yes, I do. I am on many forums. I keep on doing workshops, and Vadvani themselves are in the process of we are in the process of creating something for in this year as growth seminars. So I do that, but I am more of a consultant. Workshops I do more as a फर्क कहते हैं ना कि I like it, so but I am a consultant, so I engage deeply with my clients and then I work with them over a period of time and then we bring change. So yes, I do workshops also and I engage at a one-on-one level also. Thank you, Vivek ji. Thank you for your comment. Thanking me. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. First of all, I want to thank you, sir, for this excellent workshop. I just want to know just differentiation between product and services in point of view of CAM. How it works for the for the product and how it works for the services.
Okay, so good question again, and I have got exposure of my own company was a company which was an IT company which was doing products as well as services, and I have worked for product companies and I have done for services companies. See, the concept or the CAM doesn't change. The key account management process doesn't change. The steps of sampling or POC or the stakeholders whom are meeting or the creation of a value statement that changes, but the process of key account manager doesn't change. How you create, see, eventually what does it boil down to? It boils down to meeting the right person at the right time and answering the three questions, which is why this, why now, why me. If you are able to answer these three questions, which CAM does, is why are you buying what you are buying, why this, whether it is a product or service, why now, why do you want to buy it now, why not tomorrow, why not day after, and why me. You may want to buy it and you want to buy it today, but why are you buying it from me? If you are able to answer these three questions, the key account, you get your business. Key account management does that. So whether it is a product or service, the process doesn't change. Within the steps, the way you deal with it changes. The stakeholders change, the value ROI statements change. You are in services, you're continuously delivering and engaging with the client. With products, it's a cutoff. You may say, here is a product, deal with it. Services is in, so that changes. But the fundamental key account management process doesn't change.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other question? There is a comment from Sujit in the chat box. It's totally new to me. Got different point of business functionality of KM.
Thank you, Sujit. I have been, Sujit has been my mentee startup in some other forum. I know him well. He's a very nice guy. He's got some very amazing ideas.
All right. So any other comment or feedback or any other question, please feel free to share your feedback in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and express your gratitude to.
And you can connect with me on LinkedIn if you desire. My, I'm there on LinkedIn. Aniruddha Modak, Guru on Tap. I'm available entirely. I don't go after anybody. If you feel that I can add value, reach out. You can contact with Kedar or Wadhwani. I work very closely with them.
Right. People can also reach out to you on the Wadhwani community platform.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So I don't think there are any more questions for today, Aniruddha. Sure. Obviously, people will reach out to you in person on LinkedIn and Wadhwani community platform. Yes. And if there are any questions, participant, please do let me know also. I can keep you. I can then keep. I can share contact details of Aniruddha with you, and then you can directly talk to Aniruddha as well.
Sure.
So. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time, and hope I could add value.
Yeah. Thank you, Aniruddha, to you as well for spending so much time on this slides and putting all together, and for the wonderful insights that you provided to us today. Thank you very much, and we'll look forward to another sessions with you. Sure. As you mentioned to the participants, so we are planning something in February, which is going to be slightly deeper and in detail. So on the same line, so key account management, sales management. So all these topics will be covered in those sessions. So please stay with us. We are going to launch it in February. So you will obviously hear official news in January from us about those sessions as well. Sure. All right. So thank you everyone. We all can log out now.
Take care.